I was chatting with a buddy the other day who's thinking about turning his spare room into a game zone, and he's stuck on whether to splurge on a professional-grade slate table or go with something more plug-and-play. He's got a decent budget, but the space is tight, and he keeps worrying that the wrong choice will end up as an expensive piece of furniture that just sits there. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The fear of committing to a table that feels off-center, won't level, or just looks out of place is a real one, especially when you're spending a few $100s on something that's supposed to be a centerpiece. When you look at the home pool table market, the big trade-offs usually boil down to three things: the playing surface, the size of the table relative to your room, and how much you have to do before you can actually break a rack. A slate surface gives you the most consistent roll, but it adds a lot of weight and price. A laminate surface keeps costs down and makes the table lighter, but it can feel a bit plastic if you're used to professional feel. Then there's the question of accessories. Do you have to hunt down cues, balls, and a rack separately? Or does the package include everything you need to start playing right away? That's where the Fat Cat Frisco 7.5-foot table lands. At 7.5 feet, it's the sweet spot for most home game rooms. Big enough to feel like a real pool experience, but not so massive that you need a dedicated hall. The playing surface is made from Fat Cat's Accuslate material, which they claim comes with a 7-year coverage guarantee. In plain English, that means the surface should stay smooth and free of chips for a good while, and you won't have to worry about replacing a laminate panel after a few months of heavy use. The table also sports Case 66 rubber bumpers, which are the same type you see on higher-end tables. They give a nice, crisp rebound when the balls hit the rails, so you don't get that dead soft feel you sometimes get from cheaper bumpers. One of the biggest headaches with any pool table is getting it perfectly level. The Frisco comes with a built-in leg leveling system, basically little threaded inserts that let you raise or lower each corner independently. If you've ever tried to set up a table on a subfloor and ended up with a bounce that throws the cue ball offline, you'll appreciate this feature. It means you can usually get a stable surface in about 15 minutes with a couple of wrenches, instead of calling a carpenter or spending a weekend on a makeshift platform. The oak finish is another point that can't be ignored. It's a warm, mid-tone wood that blends well with most decor, whether you're going for a rustic man cave vibe or a cleaner modern look. Because the finish is on the frame rather than a painted veneer, it tends to hide minor scratches better, which is a nice bonus when kids are around and the table gets bumped. Now, the package includes a set of cues, a full rack of balls, a triangle, and a chalk holder. That's a huge value add if you're starting from zero. Many budget tables ship without any of the extras, leaving you to buy a cue set that can cost another $100. With the Frisco, you can open the box, assemble the legs, level it, and have a full game set up in under an hour. For a family that wants to host a weekend tournament or just practice a few shots after work, the convenience factor is a real win. But there are a few practical drawbacks to keep in mind. First, the Accuslate surface, while solid for casual play, doesn't replicate the exact feel of a slate top. The ball roll is a little slower, and the surface can develop subtle inconsistencies over many years of heavy use. If you're a serious player who practices for league play, you'll likely notice the difference and might prefer a slate table, even if it means spending more and dealing with extra weight. Second, the table weighs a lot. The frame and legs together are close to 200 pounds. You'll need at least 2 strong people to move it, and you'll want to think about how you'll get it through doorways or upstairs if you're not buying it already in the room where it will stay. Third, the footprint is a fixed 7.5 feet plus the rails, so you need roughly a 10 by 12 foot space to comfortably cue around the table without